My childhood is over. Now I'm being hunted.
Looks like the Undead Boys Club is up for a late-night snack.
Everyone was learning to master their powers.
I'm gonna need some weapons. And fast. Don't worry. I'll go easy on you.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You can catch that full video, Void Beast Manga, on the Akachi Comics YouTube page. It's actually Akachi Jones on YouTube. Look up Akachi Jones on YouTube or Void Beast, and you'll find the whole video. It's about 10, 11 minutes, something like that. What is that in my hair? My daughter been playing with me, harassing me all day today. So it is what it is. But you can get on there. We will be having pre-orders for Void Beast Chapter 4 up September 1st, I believe it is. That's the day I'm going with. September 1st, give or take. So that's what's going on with that. And then, as usual, go to akachicomics.com and download Souls of Chaos chapters 1 and 2 for free. We getting some things ready. I'm basically getting everything ready for next year. Getting my books ready, getting all that stuff ready so that we can have everything correct for our con runs next year. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. I haven't been to as many in the last few years, so it is what it is. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I was all over the place. But now it's been a little bit slower, so I'm gonna have to get back to that. And I'll be getting back to that soon. So bear with us. We're gonna get everything together, and then we'll be working on Void Beast, the final 2 chapters for Void Beast. So that's what's going on with that. I'm gonna be talking about a few things. I'm gonna talk about, I finally watched the Dragon Ball Super film. And I'm gonna talk about that. But there's some other stuff I wanted to talk about too. So I made a joke. If you follow me on Facebook, and I posted it on Instagram and stuff too. And I made the joke about how in She-Hulk episode 2, and I guess I could talk about that a little bit. It was cool. I think I fell asleep. I said I think because I was like, I fell asleep towards the end. I was like, man. So it wasn't that bad. I'm just bothered. Like, they give her outside of the other stuff. This is just me being positive. It's like 30 minutes. I'm like, that's not enough. But it is what it is. I was like, yeah, okay. I kind of fell asleep, but they had a part where they talked about like Abomination and everything, and then Jennifer working with Abomination, and the Hulk basically saying I was a different person back then. About basically how Edward Norton's Hulk, the story is still in continuity with the MCU, and that Abomination Blonsky is the same guy. So they basically explained like, yo, I was a different person back then. I was just a completely different person in one real quick line. So I make a joke about about how they explained that away for the Hulk, but they didn't redo anything with T'Challa. Oh my God. Oh, the comments all over the place. Y'all lost y'all damn minds. And the thing about it is, whether they recast them or not, I don't care. I was like, but the funny thing is that the amount of energy that y'all put into well, you are this next, and the man died. Here's my thing, though. I think if he's recast, it's whatever. It's whatever, you know. It's like, okay, he's recast, he ain't. But my thing is, for me personally, if you wanted to do, and right now is the perfect time because we don't know what's going to go on. They could bring somebody else in later on. It might have been too soon. I understand all that. I understand all that. I make jokes. About this because I need you to understand that all of this stuff, I'm always tell y'all this. When it comes to me and this comic stuff and everything, with the books, whether the shows, all that stuff, all of this stuff is fun to me. Like literally, all of it is fun to me. I come from working since I was 13, 14 years old, whether it was car washes, metal yards, welding, programming machines, fast food, retail, everything. I done some of everything. So doing all this is fun. Like the amount of ignorant people that get on flipping you off, giving you the finger and talking crazy to you over this stuff is wild to me. Because it's not that serious. It's all in fun. And the thing about it is like people turned it into, and as always, for me, it's always the thing about how people take it and put it out. And it's like, you're talking about, I didn't say anything about Chadwick Boseman, right? And people, well, he just and it's like, look, I didn't say nothing about that nobody can take his place. I didn't say anything about this and that. The man is gone. Rest in peace, my man. It is what it is. But I didn't say nothing about him. I just said about Black Panther. Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman are two different people, no matter how you try to swing it. Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther are two different people. We're not going to put that. It's like you take it and then this character had an impact. And I agree with people. It's like, he had an impact. I agree. But that wasn't Chadwick Boseman for the most part. He had the energy for it. And he was the first one to helm it. And he did an amazing job. He was still like, even when here's the thing. Even when I said, I complained about Wakanda and stuff in Black Panther, but you've never seen me full on complain about like T'Challa other than him like opening up, being like, I would be friends to everybody at the end of the movie. That's the only thing y'all might have seen me post, but I'm always like, fuck Wakanda, not T'Challa, because he came and it was like, yo, y'all did this to him. Talking about like Killmonger and then the other people, the Black Americans and stuff. He was like, y'all did that to them and you did this to him. And you were wrong. You were wrong for what you did. And I respect that. That's why you never see me really talk about T'Challa as a character, like as far as the MCU T'Challa goes. I complain about the end of the movie, like him just kind of like opening up and the We Are the World stuff for like everybody. But so that's what I complain about. But I always say fuck Wakanda. But I never talk about T'Challa. I never talk about T'Challa. Because I respected him and I respected what Boseman did. So it's not like nobody else can't do, but to put a character for me, and I don't really care about whatever. It's like everybody will know I don't care. But listen, if you don't care about what I got to say, why on God's green earth are you wasting your time listening to me or reading my posts? Like that just shows how much time y'all got to do nothing with. You on Facebook, tell somebody you don't care about thoughts that you consistently post up under their stuff, and you talking about you don't care and talking crazy to them. What? I don't post on y'all can go through. I don't post on nobody's stuff talking crazy to none of y'all. I don't talk about how I don't care about what you do, how I don't like you, like how you ain't shit under your own post. I don't do that to nobody. I don't do that. If I don't like it, I just keep it moving or I'm whatever. Or I'll make my own post and I'll talk about it. But even then, I don't go under there talking to anybody. But anyway, but it's this thing where it's like nobody else can play him, but isn't that? That's a lie. You know how many Supermans? Christopher Reeve was the best Superman up to a point. He was like the best, and I know it took a few years. I understand all that stuff and blah 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 blah. I understand that, but it's also a joke. It is also a thing where it needed to be done. It'll have to be done because of what Black Panther is. Now, if they just leave Black Panther off and do whatever, then it's like in time. I don't argue. I mean, besides when people start talking crazy online, it's like, okay, let me just kind of poke them. But time is going to tell. Not me, not what I think right now. Time will. So I don't listen to all the explanations and stuff for the most part. I just kind of look and I see what these companies do, and then time will tell. If they continue to do whatever with the character, if they push him off, they recreate him. If they do something, they make another person come in from another variant or whatever they want to do with him. If they could do something like that, it is what it is. But I think the character should live on. That's it. For me, I think the character should live on because he came out and he had an impact on on everything Marvel. And so just to let him kind of like go off and be like, he gone. It was like, okay. And y'all got the perfect explanation for why he looks different now, if you really did it. So it is what it is. But I don't really want to get into that because honestly, it's silly. Like the amount of energy people put in on that one is like, this is wild because the character was so great and it was a good character, and like Black Panther in general is just a good character, not Chadwick. Chadwick ain't Black Panther. Like anybody can be Black Panther, not anybody, but it got to be somebody good. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can play a character, and to just throw him off to the side is kind of like, but it's also a thing where other people have played him and stuff too. His sister has been Black Panther, this and that. So all I'm saying is that I'm gonna keep making posts to get up under y'all skin. That's what I'm really saying. I'm like that one. I'm like, because this is, you can even tell like the way I'm speaking. I don't really have it's like I like T'Challa. I think it needs to be recast. I want to keep him going. There, time will tell. It is what it is. And then it goes until, like I was saying on another post what I had shared, where it's like you'll see stuff and you can see what Marvel and other people are doing, and you can say what's happening, but every excuse for it will pop up. And the thing that's wild to me about all of that is that when people make so many excuses for Marvel and all these other places, it always trips me out because I'm like, weren't y'all the same people I can find on your timeline? Y'all the same people talking about how corporations is terrible, how we shouldn't work for corporations, we should this and that, and eat the rich and blah, 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 blah. But then when they provide you with entertainment, y'all go jump out of windows to defend these people and these corporations. So like, which is it? Is it that we ain't got beef with the corporations as long as they're doing something that we like? And then like for instance, everybody talk about like here's something that's funny to me. Here's something: grown men and people are jumping out the window about She-Hulk, and they trying to play this whole misogynist role and all this other stuff, talking about you misogynist, you just hate women, you this and that. But just a few months ago, or a few years ago, Marvel did Scarlett Johansson dirty, and wasn't nobody jumping out about that. Like, this is real life dirty. They did her dirty, contract wise and everything. Wasn't nobody jumping out the window for that? Wasn't nobody jumping out the window for this woman? That everybody loved Black Widow so much, and wasn't nobody jumping out the window when in real lives are being affected by what Marvel Disney did to Scarlett Johansson with that character, screwing her over in the contract, putting the movie out after, all kind of stuff, not paying her. Nope, wasn't nobody jumping out the window now. But now y'all out here calling everybody misogynist and you just hate women and all this other stuff when it comes to a goofy ass show that folks are talking about what actually happened in the show. Now y'all care about women and stuff, but when real life was happening to Scarlett Johansson because of this corporation that y'all defended, ain't nobody got nothing to say about it. Or a few people were talking about it and it's just like, we just gonna keep rolling. Y'all talked about it, kept it rolling. Back to so I want to say that you don't pay attention to people. That's like for the people that like you can't pay attention to these folks. Because 1 minute it's gonna be one thing, then the next minute it ebbs and flows with how they feel and what they have attachments to. Because whatever they have an attachment to, they're gonna sit there and it can be the most foul shit on average. But as long as they like what's happening, they don't care. They like Marvel. They're not gonna talk about the bad stuff they do. They're not gonna talk about how they jipping creators and stuff. They're not gonna talk about that. But here's the thing: time always wins. Folks can talk and they're great, but give it a few years, and when it dies down, then it's gonna be they were the worst. They were horrible, man. I knew it the whole time. This is how the world works. It's just how it works. This is what's going to happen. So this is why I don't listen to it. I don't take none of that shit serious. None of that. If it was a woman and it was this and it was that and blah 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 blah, you don't like her because she blah, 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 blah. I don't take none of that serious because when real life was happening to Scarlett Johansson, none of y'all was jumping out the window talking about Marvel and how they was treating her then. Because it was messed up with the way they played her in that contract, the way they released her movie, all of that, the way they said they were going to put it in theaters, they didn't do it one way, and it was messed up the way they did her. And I've talked about it. It's like, so we're not going to talk, but y'all can go crazy about women and how they just go through so much when it's a fictional character on the screen. But when a woman's getting done dirty in real life in front of you from the corporation that you like, ain't nobody got anything to say. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna move on for that. Next thing before we get to there was one more thing because I post stuff and I like to see reactions. There's another thing that I seen about somebody talking about Avatar, and they were talking about, it's on my Facebook page, talking about how if Toph, being that she was blind, she taught the Avatar 25% of his battle, blah 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 blah, his skills and stuff. And if Toph was released today, it would be called woke propaganda. I swear before Jesus, y'all some goofy motherfuckers. Now, here's why I say that's some bullshit. The reason why it's bullshit to me is because Toph was a necessary character off rip. Like you knew that the character, you knew that Aang needed somebody to teach him airbending. And you may have thought it would have been Boomy, right? But the thing about it is, Boomy is goofy as hell. There's no way him and Aang would have got anything done. When it came to him, Boomy old as hell. There was no way him and Aang were going to get anything done. None whatsoever. So Boomy couldn't have taught him anything like consistently. He could show him some stuff after he know how to do it, but like teaching him, no, not with earthbending. Especially that was and I could be wrong. Was it fire? I think it was Earth that was the one that gave Aang the most problems. There was no way Boomy was going to teach him that. There was no way. But to say that it would be woke propaganda is dismissing that we see messages that are being put in the movies and television and stuff now. And it's always been like that. It's not like now it was any different. It's just a little bit more blatant. And now we can all talk about it more than back in the day. Because there was Edward Bernays in his book, he talks about that. Like whether it was smoking, whether it was the whole Michelin star thing when people were traveling, when they wanted to get women to smoke because they wanted to sell more packets, when they wanted to have people stop about places to eat. So they put, it was like Michelin star, there is nothing but a restaurant. Michelin star is from the tire company. So the tire company put it all together and be like, hey, this restaurant over here on Route 66 got 4 or 5 Michelin stars. You should go try it. So it was all between the tire companies and then restaurants, and the restaurants would get it, and then it would market to people like, hey, you should stop here. So you should get to traveling and go stop at these places. Marketing and messages have always been pushed on us. It's just that now we can talk about it more, and we can say, hey, you seeing this? Yeah, I'm seeing this too. Are you seeing this? I'm seeing the same thing. That's just what it is. So I don't worry about it. It ain't nothing new. There's nothing new. It's just that we can talk about it more. And people didn't like it back then. People don't like it now. I talk to old people a lot because of my business, which I don't put all out there, but my business, and it's like they talk about the same stuff, different generations and stuff. They talk about the same thing. It's never going to change, and people are always going to be able to profit off of it. So the thing about it is like to say that would be woke propaganda is weak, because we see what's going on in these other stories, and Avatar wasn't written that way. Avatar wasn't written to where we're going to pound this message down your throat. It was a thing where the characters had their own set of beliefs, and they put those beliefs in each character, and we got to see it from them. They didn't come out trying to push it on you, and you going this and you going like that. That's not what was going on with Avatar. It just wasn't. And also, there was never a thing where Toph was like she was pushed on anybody, where she was being preachy. Toph was necessary, like I was saying, she was necessary from the start because we know he needed to do it. And then so we met her, and it was like, oh God, she blind? Oh man, she a little girl? Dang, what's she doing? And she just always got through any of the issues, with whether it was with the the Badger Moles or something like that, the Badger Moles and everything, and her kicking it with them because her being blind. And also, maybe I'm being biased because Toph was my favorite character. And out rip, like I remember watching it back in the day. What was it, 2008 or something? And probably before that, but I remember really watching it like in 2008, and I was like, I love this little girl. And so it was never a thing where it was like, oh my God, they pushing this on me. Now, like we said, you compare that to something like the reason why, and from the first Jedi movie, I watched that one. Whatever. I think why I was bothered about whatever with Rey from the first one, not because she was a woman, but because it was like you had Finn, and it was like, I see what they doing with him. And then they just was like, and we knew Rey was whatever, but they was like, hey, it's me. And it was like, what? Like this guy was okay. And it was just like, oh, okay. And then even with the whole She-Hulk thing, it's like certain comments that are being said, it's like, this is dumb. You have your right to do whatever, but how y'all gonna play this dude? How y'all gonna play Banner like that? Toph was never like that. Toph was like, I stand on mine. It's nothing about I'm this or I'm that. It's like I stand on mine because I was from the gate. They showed that Toph was proficient in earthbending. The little woman was proficient at earthbending from the start. We seen her jacking up everybody, tossing them grown dudes around, and then it wasn't like it was a show. It was like, okay, maybe it was a joke. Maybe she was just in the little wrestling thing, beating up all the dudes, and it was just part of the show. Then she get out and she wrecking shop too. So it's like, okay, this girl is for real. This ain't no plays, and plus she was blind and stuff. So to say that is goofy. And then so my other thing about that was like, it was released what, in 2019, 2020? Nobody didn't say anything. That argument never popped up. And this is in the same climate that we are now. That argument of her being this being woke propaganda, that wasn't the case, because it came out they re-released it on Netflix 2019, 2020. People were watching it, then they did Korra and everything. Now there were all kind of arguments that popped up about Aang being a simp. And like I talked about this on my page, but I'm talking about it again. Aang being a simp, Katara being a terrible person, Azula's mental health, all this stuff. But never did anybody across any board say anything about she was this and she couldn't do that, and this little blind girl, this and that, this is woke propaganda. Nobody ever said that. And then the bigger argument that happened, especially since it had came back out in 2019, 2020, was the whole Korra Aang thing. They talked more about, in talking about woke propaganda, they talked more about that with Korra, with how it ended with her and the girl supposed to be liking each other and stuff, or dating each other, which I seen it and I was like, okay, whatever. When it originally came out, I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. It didn't bother me. But they talked about that now. Since they re-released it on Netflix, they talked about that now, not if Toph was woke propaganda. So going along with that, that's goofy shit. Like, come on, man, don't some of this. Think about it. Come on, really, like, it's just a deflect. A lot of this is deflection from, again, for me, and I could be wrong. A lot of these companies use negative marketing to push their shows and stuff. They use that shit. It's like all of it is a way, because they know that they can rile people up on social media, get people hyped, and then people are going to look at it. This is why when people talk about me and I go back and forth with people and stuff, it don't bother me. The reason why it don't bother me is because at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me, because you're putting your time and energy under something that I do. Like straight up. If you decide to come out and post and be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, this and that, all you're doing is creating a conversation under my posts. So, and I'm gonna tell you, and this could mess me up or whatever, that's fine, but I can tell you the best bet is just to scroll past it. And the people that do, I respect them more than the people that's gonna just talk. Now, no, I respect my people that support me more than anything. I love y'all. Y'all, and because y'all can come on, the people that's with me, that support me, buy my books, they can come on, they talk to me. We do whatever, we can have fun, even if they don't agree with me. It's all well and good. They don't be talking crazy. Some folks just come on, ain't never bought nothing, ain't never did nothing, just talking crazy and talking about how much you don't like me. That is wild. You gonna watch me and do all this and you don't like me, but you giving me energy. You giving my timeline energy. And the thing about it is, you go off and you talk about me. This is why I made a post about your enemies taking you to new areas, because your enemies will. They're gonna talk down on you. They're gonna talk about how much you ain't this and how much you ain't that. And all it's gonna do is cause people to check you out. And if you're being consistent and if you're doing what you're supposed to do, none of that is going to be an issue. Because at the end of the day, nobody can't say I've purposely not sent out books to them. I've purposely done them some type of filthy and stuff. I'll try to make sure if everything is good and stuff. I send money to people. Some people that know about the stuff I've done, others don't know. It's like I help folks out. I pay folks. You don't see that type of stuff with me. Now I talk crazy and y'all may not like it, but that's all in fun. That's all in fun. It's entertainment. All this is entertainment. But the thing about it's like if you're doing that type of stuff, you're just giving more energy to what's going on. So these companies use that, and they know that they could rile people up, and everybody going to go and watch the show or watch the video. And I think that's Marvel's thing now, especially with any of the especially with some of the ones that they don't feel like it's going to do as well. Man, the whole thing is, hey, you hate them because they're a woman, and then people talk about it, then say, go watch it. Or just like Issa did with that rap shit TV show. She put out the white lady rapping over, what was it, on Murder's Little Not Atlanta thing. Folks lost their mind. Whole time it was for a show. Whole time it's for a show. And so it's not new. It's not new. It's not new. Errol Bernays said that, what was it? The art of marketing, something. I forgot the name of the book. But he talks about in the book that women that back in the first half of the 1900s, when they wanted women to start smoking, they would send women out on the street smoking with decent looking dudes on their arms. And they would just go back and forth and just be smoking. And then it was like, hey, why are you smoking? It's like, oh, it makes me feel empowered and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And they played that whole thing over and over. They would have people write about it and take pictures of them and everything. And then they put that whole thing to where women smoking was empowerment. And they did this with a lot of things. So I just want folks to know it's nothing new. But don't let nobody sit here and try to bust you over your head and make you think what you seeing ain't what it is. They always gonna argue against what you say, no matter what. They're gonna argue against. I do it to people. It ain't just part of the game. But time is always what tells. That's the difference. Is time is always gonna tell what's going on. And so just watch it. Don't let it bother you to the point to where you're like, well, I'm not going to talk about it. If that's what you see, talk about what you see. Because we see all this mess too. I see it. Even with when we were talking about Prey, like I made jokes and I was talking about I don't forgot her name, the main Comanche girl. And it's like she it was aptly named Prey because she was just off going after the predator. The predator wasn't even worried about you. So I talk about that stuff, right? But I never said that the movie was terrible. I was like, this movie is horrible. It was okay. It was cool. I thought it was cool. But the overhyping and then the marketing that's used, that's where it gets a little weird. And so they use you to talk crazy about other people, and then you talking crazy and treating people crazy and talking about you hate women and all sorts of stuff when you talking about what you see in the movie. That's not the case. That's not the case. Or some deep-seated thing. It's like, these people are crazy. But that's what they use as marketing now. So whenever you see it, like for instance, it's already started with Black Panther. You're going to see it more when it pops up. When the Black Panther movie pops up, I've said it before and I'm saying it again. The closer it gets to the movie, the more you're going to talk about how more you're going to see people talk about you hate black women. It's going to be you hate black women. You don't want women to be such and such. And then after the movie come out, it's going to be like, oh, you hate black women, or you don't like black people and stuff like that and everything. It's like, or you just no, that's not the case. But some people it is. Again, as always, y'all not gonna get me on here and have me answer for Dusty and trifling. I'm not answering for racists, people that really do hate women, women that hate men, because that's the thing too. Y'all try to act like it ain't, but it is. And all that stuff. I'm not answering for that. I'm just talking about regular folks that's like, hey, I see this. This is wild. I talk to people all the time. It's like just in casual conversations, like I don't know what's going on with some of the stuff the MCU does. And then if you say that, you are just crazy. You just said that. Fuck that. You see it. You know what's going on. Let it be known. That's what's going on. Yeah, and then we could talk about all the stuff where it's going. Maybe I'll talk about that another time about the MCU and where I see it going. But it's also why in my own stories, I'm like, I want to focus on telling things my way, not the MCU and them is doing their own thing, but I want to make sure that, and this is why I post what I post, because it's like, I want to make sure that I'm able to stand on my own too when it comes to telling the stories the way I want to tell them. Whether it's Souls of Chaos, Void Beast, or The Extraordinary Messiah, there's things that I'm going to make and I'm going to put in them, and I want them to stand on their own and let you know that this is my style of storytelling. My style ain't the same as everybody else's. It's just not, and it's not going to be. So that's something as well. In like for instance, me and Javon and then we're talking about, and Danny and everybody was talking, and Jesus, I'm in Morgan. My God, I'm all over the place. We were talking about well, actually, Javon, Morgan, and we were talking about Batman and stuff, and it's a thing where it's like with Batman, I do this. We always go back and forth if Batman is complicit with the crime and stuff that happened or the terrible things that happened in Gotham, and for me, he is. It's like you just trifling. Some of the stuff you need to change, you need to stop doing. You need to make sure these people is all right, and some of these folks need to die, and that's the thing that we were talking about with some people needing to die, and I feel like I am on the end that Joker needs to die, and if Batman gonna be the one that keeps showing up, you need to do something about it, because you just keep popping up, and then your friends and these kids that you're bringing up under your wing are getting hurt, broken, busted, murdered, and whether they come back or not, this stuff is happening, and you just like, I can't do it. Well, then get your ass out the way. Then get out the way and let somebody that can handle it. But even on that, it's just the topic of if a hero should kill a person. Now, me, I firmly believe that some of them need to die, and I don't believe you go off the edge and you just go kill everybody. I haven't, like, even in my stories, from Void Beast to Void Beast and Souls of Chaos, nobody has done anything yet. But in The Extraordinary Messiah, you can see how Andre deals with the situation in the first book with Simmons, and how Simmons helped take his friend, and it's a thing where it's like, yo, you took my friend and you did all of this stuff to him. I'm gonna put you through it. Kind of like, and it's like, if you keep following me, if you keep coming after me and my friends, I'm going to hurt you more. And that's how I think. And you can tell, it's like, even with Andre, it was a thing where I have Andre step on his leg and break it to where it's like Simmons can't move. And that was on purpose, because it's the thing where if you're willing to do and hurt all these people, you're willing to kill, take arms off, do all these other people, the same thing is going to get done to you. And if you come across one of my heroes, that's what's going to happen. Now, will they necessarily kill the person? It depends. For me, it depends on what this villain did. What did they do to cause this issue, to cause to cause the issue. What were they killing people? Were they doing such? It may not be. And I even had Andre's father tell him, it's like some of these people ain't gonna make it back, but you need to get back, and you need to do what you got to do to get back. And you can read that in The Extraordinary Messiah, chapter 1, the first chapter. It's on akachicomics.com. But I want to make sure that for me, the type of stories that I want to tell, I want to make sure that that's always what's going on. Because in my mind, because of how I am and things I've went through, my life experience determines some of the stuff I talk about and how I write as well. I know, like, for instance, growing up for me, it was a thing where it's like, I used to get, like, you wouldn't believe it, but I am actually pretty quiet, like, for the most part. And I was very quiet growing up. I was a quiet kid. This was like early, like elementary school type shit. Before fourth or fifth grade, before, I think, like, fourth grade down, like kindergarten up to fourth grade. I was really quiet. And even after, I was still quiet. But it was a thing where people would just kind of like bother me. It was like they bother me, push on me, and do whatever and stuff. And I'll never forget this kid. I forgot. This kid had did something to me in the bathroom, and then he, like, I remember I was quiet or I didn't answer him, and he hit me. Like, after I was done pissing. He's just like, bop, hit me, and I was like, oh my God. Oh, so it was a little weird. And then I went home. My grandmother and my mother were like, no, you don't let nobody do nothing to you or none of your sisters and everything. You handle that. You a little boy. Don't be letting nobody hit on you and beat you up or whatever and stuff like that. After that, and my grandmother was like, if I hear about you letting somebody put their hands on you again, I'm going to beat your ass next time you come in this house and I hear about it. And I was always like, oh my God, I got to come back and see them more than I got to see these people. So I'm never letting that happen again. Fourth grade up, and I probably some stuff before fourth grade too, but that was just one of the times. Man, I became a monster. It was just a thing where it was like, I didn't let nothing slide. It was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I ended up in a lot of fights because it was like people. I was never, like, my nose and everything. I had to grow into this shit. My lips and stuff. I always tell people, I'm like, I look like an old little bushman back in the day. And I got called everything. I got called Matumbo, Olajuwon, African booty scratcher, and I ain't even from Africa. I got called everything under the sun. And I ain't mad at nobody now. It is what it is. It actually turned me into who I am. And so going through stuff like that, having to fight. Then I was the oldest. I'm the oldest of 9 kids, but at the time it was like 4 or 5. I had to fight for my sisters. People was doing whatever. I got to go out, beat people up, knock heads around for messing with my sisters, slap folks, choke folks, throw people over desks, all kind of stuff. I'm doing all of these things. And I'm learning this type of chaos, and it's getting built to me. I'm learning it. I'm understanding it. I'm understanding where I fit in it. And that's what I put in my stories as well. I don't believe that, like, people like Batman and other folks should be able to get away with certain things, or you should let certain people just keep doing trifling shit. Because if you keep letting them do it, sooner or later, some bad stuff is going to happen to other people. And I like to make my characters, doesn't mean it's going to always be the case, but I like to make, and like in the case with Andre, I wanted to make it to where Andre dealing with Simmons, it was a thing where you know not to come mess with me. And if you do mess with me, you know that there's going to be a heavy price. You don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know how far I may go, and I want you to know that. You don't know how far I may go, but I'm not going to give you a line where I say I can't kill people. I will never, ever put that in one of my heroes. Never, never. I would never put a hero that doesn't kill people. Any hero that I write, it's a good chance they might kill somebody. When it comes to these type of people, these type of characters and villains we're dealing with. Now, if it's the only way I might do something like that, if it's like a normal character, like I write a story without like superpower stuff like that, and I'm not having nobody doing egregious stuff, that's different. Like, I wouldn't have nobody kill nobody just because they stole something or whatever, or even if they necessarily killed somebody else, because it could be reasons behind that. You know what I'm saying? It's different stuff. But as far as these like mystical, high-powered stuff like that, and no, it's on the table. And for my characters, my heroes, it's always on the table. This is on the table. Death is on the table with my characters. If necessary, they will kill a villain. They will stomp them. They will beat them. They will cut their heads off. They will do all of that because it's necessary. And like I said, going back to Simmons with Andre from The Extraordinary Messiah, it was a thing where it was necessary. It was like, yo, you took my friend, you killed these people, you got to pay. And if you come bother us again, we're gonna mess you up. We're gonna mess you up again. So that's why I stand on that. That's why I stand on that. And then another thing I was gonna talk about real quick is for my writers and people like that. Even with the characters, it's like I've learned that I have to. Quick note: it's like make sure you have the end in mind for your projects. Make sure you have the end in mind, because so many things happen in the indie community when it comes to creating projects and being able to finish it. Unless you're doing it on your own, and even when you're doing it on your own, it could be whatever. But for writers, they got to deal with artists and stuff like that. Make sure you have the end in mind and structure to where you can get to your end and section it off real quick. Because a lot of people, when it comes to buying it, at least at cons and stuff like that, and even online, a lot of them want full projects completed. They want to be like, is this the end of the story? Is this everything? Yes. Oh, I'm buying it. If it's not, someone will be like, oh, I'll wait. Oh, I'll wait. And they could just be excuses from folks that weren't going to buy anyway. It could be that. But most of the time, that's not the case. They want to make sure that they are getting everything. And so I would say make sure you have your end in mind and a way to get to it to where you don't have a bunch of roadblocks. Because even after Void Beast, we'll probably continue doing Void Beast, but it's going to be different. It may be different to where we do different little stories that'll be a lot more self-contained. No more big, long stories, because I'm not in a position to do stuff like that. So we'll see what's going on, except for the ones I have. But I already have those set up to where it's like, okay, I got this chapter, this is going to go up to 10. We're going to put it all together. That's going to be the end for that part. And then we'll go to something else later. So make sure you have your end in mind, and it'll help you focus on where you're trying to go with what you're trying to write, so that you can get there quicker. You can tell a more cohesive story and everything. And that's something that I'm still learning. I ain't got it all together. Y'all read my stuff. You know, I talk about Marvel and stuff. I expect y'all to do the same thing to mine. Tell me what's going on. It ain't no problem, but as long as you ain't doing it disrespectfully. So, I mean, you disrespect me, then we're gonna have to. I'm just playing. Where am I? But anyway, so yeah, it is what it is. Now, Dragon Ball Superhero. So I watched it last night, and I didn't have too much of a problem with the movie. Like, I thought I did. Wait, I don't want to say it like I didn't have a problem. I had problems with things, but I didn't feel like it was a new issue. Like, this ain't new. This ain't new. They've been making Dragon Ball movies like this since Tree of Might and everything. Even when I was a child, I knew that the movies breezed through. It was just that they didn't have so much going on. It was like, but with Turles and all these other people, and I'm just like, this is a regular old Dragon Ball movie. This is okay. It's a regular old Dragon Ball movie. Now, the thing about it, the gist of it is, the Red Ribbon Army want to come back. They went and got Dr. Gero, or Dr. Gero's little wild grandson, who, it was weird because it was like Dr. Hedo, he was a little weird psychopath dude, locked up because he was doing too much, but he wanted to create superheroes. And it was like, this dude is a little weirdo. But he created superheroes. And then Gamma 1 and 2, I liked them. They were cool. Both of them, I didn't have an issue with either one of them. And they were cool. So I was like, okay. Red Ribbon Army and stuff. And then I was going to be like, wait a minute. So the Red Ribbon Army was doing all this, but they were under pharmaceuticals. So I was like, okay. I was thinking like they doing all this and Goku and none of them Capsule Corp don't know nothing about this, but they were under pharmaceuticals. So that was plausible. I was like, okay, whatever. And then, but the main star in this one was Piccolo to me. It was like, and the reason why I wasn't super bothered by it is because I remember, I can't remember if it was 2019 or 2020 when the other movie came out, the Broly movie. I was talking mess. I was like, man, they don't give Gohan and Piccolo no kind of shine. Like, when they gonna get their own thing? So when they did this, and I finally watched it, I was like, okay, this was cool. And it was a thing where Piccolo was still doing what Piccolo do. And I liked that he was training Pan and stuff. But what was funny was just seeing Gohan and Piccolo like, man, you need to train. And here's the thing. I talked about Goku, but in this movie, they made it was like Piccolo was on some Goku shit. To where it was like he was doing all kind of stuff just to get Gohan to basically turn up. It was like, look, man, go get your kid. Okay, I'm gonna put your armor on you. Bam. I'm like, oh, it's heavy. Oh God. But he's still trying, like, okay, he's still got a little bit of whatever. Hey, we need to go to their house and do whatever. This fool Piccolo goes, sneaks into the Red Ribbon headquarters, finds out everything's going on, takes the Red Ribbon dude there to go back to Gohan's house, scratches on the window like he did from the start, because I guess Piccolo got away to let him know, hey, I'm at your window, so he'll scratch on it. And then he's like, oh, hey, Piccolo. And the funny thing was, it was funny to me. A lot of it was funny. Vidal's asking him, hey, go pick up a pad. Like, I ain't no damn babysitter. Oh, let me go get this baby. So I love this kid. And so I do like that. I did like that. And so he takes the Red Ribbon guy to Gohan's house. And I'm like, Piccolo, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? And it's like, yeah, he gonna turn up and mush this guy. He gonna like Piccolo. My God. He's like, he ain't turning up, he ain't doing enough. Then when they're fighting, he lifts up Pan. It's like, hey, Pan, I need you to play along with me. I need your daddy to turn up a little bit. I got this baby. And I'm gonna mess her up. I'm like, this is the same thing that Goku was doing to this poor boy. It was like, hey, let me put you out here and let Cell beat the piss out of you and you gonna turn up. I'm like, what? So it was a thing where people talk about Gohan, and I'm sorry, I can't get with it. The reason why I can't get with it when it comes to some of the Gohan slander is because that boy, from the time he was what, one or two? Y'all correct me. I'll say between 2 and 5 years old or something. With everything with Raditz and everything, it's like this boy been fighting and doing stuff since he was a baby. He was younger than, it looked like he was younger than Goku, or maybe he was about the same age. But like I said, y'all correct me. It is what it is. That one I'm not bothered with because I could be all over the place. It is what it is. Y'all correct me. But he was a little kid, and then he go on other planets fighting. He got like that gets tiring after a while, and you just watching people die, watching people get blasted, watching people get impaled. It's like over and over again. Nobody ever asked him if this is what you want to do. This is like, and even if they did, he said no. They made him keep doing it. It was like, nah. Well, I'm not with the Gohan slander. I'm like, nah, that's messed up. With everything he's seen Krillin get impaled. He's seen Dende and him get busted up. Watch Vegeta beat the piss out of him, and then just beat that boy all over Namek. And then Frieza beating up on him and everything. Piccolo training him, watching his daddy go through stuff, it's just over and over and over and over. It's like, man. And his mom was like, hey, this boy need to work. And something's like, he need to, well, not work. Sorry, not work. I need to be better about my words, not work. He need to go to school. We want him to get smart, all this stuff. And he like, yo, I'm good at that too. I want to do that. I like doing this. I don't want to be out there fighting and stuff. So the boy been being forced to fight since he could stand up and walk. And it's like, we talking about him because he don't want to do that? What? Even if he was the strongest, it was never his thing. It was never his thing. I always say I'm bothered by people that they did something, like they have talents and they're trying to make a way with those talents, and they're choosing to do it, but they don't do it correctly, or they're whining about what they can do. Like, some people are good writers, right? Like, some people are good writers. I'm not the best of writers. I'm just not. Like, I'm not. I work with people. I write my own stuff. I got editors, some of the best editors to me that work for me at the time where I'm at. They help me out so much because I damn sure ain't it. But I'm not an amazing writer. Some of y'all are amazing, and y'all want to make it in writing and stuff. But all I see is whining and crying and bitching. It's like, what? And then artists, it's like, yo, some of y'all are amazing. I can't draw at all. And it's just, oh man, it's hard, and I can't this and that. I don't know. And they're like, oh, man, get out of here. No, I don't want to hear all that, because if I could do it with you, I'd find a way. But with Gohan, it's not that. It's not like he wanted to be a fighter. It was never that. And he showed that he was better at school and everything. So he wanted to go, and Chi-Chi wanted him to do that. And he's showing that, hey, I'm better at this, even though I have the potential to be stronger than my father and stuff. That's never been in me. They always made me. Somebody was making me fight. Gohan, it was always somebody was making him fight, or he was always in a situation to where he had to fight or literally die. I'm like, I don't even know these space folks. I'm still a kid. I'm not even 12 years old. Like, what's going on? I'm not even 10. I'm here. Like, yeah, but I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And there was a thing about with Gohan. I remember I watched when they would do the stuff where it was like Piccolo would be hollering at him. I can't remember. Was it Vegeta? I think it was when they were fighting Vegeta. It was like, Gohan, do it now. And I remember when I was a kid, I was kind of like, oh man, that's messed up. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I was like, let me explain that a little bit more. When I was a kid, I was like, why is he crying? Why is he acting like that? He about to ruin everything for everybody. Now that I'm older, I'm like, that boy didn't want to be there. Like, he was like, he'll help. It's like, yeah, I want to help. I don't want nobody to die. But in his heart of hearts, it wasn't like Gohan wanted to be there, whether he had potential or not. It wasn't like he always just wanted to be there. I don't want to do this like that. I don't want to. So it's good for him to learn it and learn how to defend himself and learn how to fight and stuff like that. That's a great thing. But that beast ain't in him like that. That's funny. And so before I'm about to go, so Piccolo was doing all of this to this boy to get him to amp up, and Piccolo used the Dragon Balls to get his power, to get his inner power unleashed, kind of like what they did back on Namek and stuff with Krillin and Gohan them before. And then they basically had his old magical or whatever he was doing and made it to where they could have 3 wishes. And the wild thing is that they said that the goofy thing was like, they said that Capsule Corp was getting the Dragon Balls consistently throughout the past couple of years and just making frivolous, goofy wishes so they can fight and then fight them again, and kept doing it. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, Goku and Vegeta them were just going along with this too? This don't make no sense whatsoever. And not it doesn't make sense story-wise, because that makes sense, but it doesn't make sense that y'all do it. Y'all could be asking for both stuff. Pick a bone up here asking for eyelashes and a firm butt. You're like, what? Jesus Christ. And Piccolo kind of got on him about that. I was like, Jesus, yeah. And it was cool to see Piccolo do his thing where he got bigger, him realizing who he was. The orange thing was whatever to me. I was like, okay then. And it was just a thing where it was like Piccolo the whole time was just trying to get Gohan to do his thing. Gamma 1 and 2 were cool, and I like that Piccolo and Gohan then were talking to him, and Gamma 1 and 2 were just kind of like, Gamma 1 was like, what? Like, we supposed to be superheroes. We said, huh? Wait. Some of this stuff that's going on, I ain't fully on with this. Like, you made me to be this. So why are we fighting them if these people are the problem? I like that. I liked that because it was like, no, we're supposed to be superheroes. I'm not just going to blindly follow this mess and we fighting somebody that's the actual problem. Now the whole thing about like Cell Max, I didn't like that. I didn't like this whole Cell Max thing at all. That was like, this was goofy. There was no need for that. Cell Max was just there. It was like he popped up and then he's fighting, and it's like story wise, like what's Cell Max? You weren't, and then just the hollering, just the ah. I was like, okay, he ain't talking. He's just a mad beast, and Dr. Hedo told him that too, and I knew it was gonna be that, but it's just like I did like that that everybody else popped up. That Goten and Trunks popped up. And for me, I'm like, yo, this stuff is getting a little with Dragon Ball, and I don't keep up with everything. Like I pop in on like manga and stuff. Like JoJo was my thing. That's mine. That's my thing. JoJo and like Berserk. All the other ones, like I pop in, I look at them, I keep up with what's going on, whether it's Attack on Titan, the My Hero Academia, One Punch Man, Dragon Ball, whatever. But JoJo is my main one. But I pop in and out, and my thing is, even what's going on with Super, I was glad to see Goten and Trunks, and I hope that they continue to move on to those two. Those two, if the thing is where they can be stronger and all that stuff, you got two right there, and Goten and Trunks are willing to fight. Let's skip all the Gohan stuff. Go to them two. They willing to fight. Goten and Trunks want to be out in the field. They want that. Go ahead and get it. Let's move on from Goku and them and go to Goten and Trunks. Y'all got it built in right there. Like, let's make this happen. But it is Goku and Vegeta, and we got to rehash Vegeta and all this. Not Vegeta. Yeah, Frieza. We got to rehash Frieza and all this other stuff and everything. It's like, oh my goodness, this is, it's Cell Max, and like, come on, y'all got two boys that y'all, if the half breeds are the stronger ones, y'all got two right there. They willing to fight. You can bring all this stuff full circle, or have Vegeta have a kid, or make him something. I don't know, but go on and have them do all that. Go on and have them deal with all that. But it is what it is. So all of that is going on. Krillin is helping out. It was good to see him helping out and everything and stuff too. And it was a quick Dragon Ball movie. Like I thought I was going to be on that train of, oh my God, isn't that? But it was just the other issue I had is that beast form from Gohan, it wasn't like Cell Max was just there, and he was just there to scream and let us see Goku not Goku, Piccolo and Gohan turn up a little bit. And then they didn't let Gohan's beast form, they didn't let it sit in with us long enough, to me. I think he could have did a little bit more to where he could have stood out, because I thought it was cool. It was funny how his hair got longer and he would stick it up so much and stuff. That was funny. And I would have, because he was like, he boop, kick Cell, like, you're done after that. And I did like that he used special beam cannon. I like that, because it separates him from Vegeta and Goku and them. And I like how they tried to separate all of them more. Like, even with Vegeta's new form and Super and stuff, I like how they're trying to separate all of them more and give them their own thing. I think that's cool. But it's still kind of trapped in some old stuff and whatever. And it just didn't seem like it didn't push anything. But it was a Dragon Ball movie. It was like, I didn't think it was the worst. It was goofy. The thing I didn't really like is like that. My biggest gripe would be the animation style that they go with some of this. And I know that people say it's a little bit cheaper to make and stuff, and I understand that. So it is what it is, but that don't mean I gotta like it all the time. And it was just like, they could have. It's like, God, I like the older style stuff. So my biggest gripe is like my biggest, like, story wise and stuff, is like the Cell Max thing. I didn't feel like Cell Max was anything. He didn't. It was just kind of like, okay, he's just here. He just hollering and screaming, and he just here. They explained a little bit about him, but it was like, who was he? Whatever. And then they didn't let Gohan's new form marinate with us. It didn't sit with us and stuff. We didn't see him really do anything with it. But I like the special beam cannon thing. I like Gamma 1 and 2. And 2 went off and died for everybody and stuff. So he was cool and stuff. It was funny seeing them give Dr. Hedo a job with Capsule Corp, which I hope we see more of these people. The whole stuff with Vegeta and Goku was whatever. And then the thing about that's another thing. That whole Vegeta, like, oh my God, I beat Kakarot. I'm like, what? You beat him half to death before. Like, you was able to get up and walk away. He got to get carried off when y'all first fought. So what's this thing about Vegeta not beating Goku? So I don't know. But that's what I thought about the movie. Would I watch it again? Probably not. I watched it. It's gone. But it wasn't the worst thing ever. And I could see how in Japan it might have been different, but over here it seems to be selling a little bit better. I'm not surprised because people over here was loving Dragon Ball, and it was cool. Like I said, it was cool to see Piccolo, them and Piccolo and Gohan lead the way. To me, it was. I liked it. I liked that part. Whole movie, but it dang sure wasn't. It wasn't like this was just like complete and utter trash. It wasn't that. I would just like to see them give them 2 more and give them better stuff to deal with. But that's not gonna happen because it's Dragon Ball. They already done gave. My chair keeps sliding down. And I know y'all see he's just sliding down further and further. This chair, I don't know what happened with it, but it is what it is. They done gave Frieza a new form, so now we gotta watch him. We don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything. I just poke my head in and out and I see it. And it's like, okay. Frieza got a black form? Oh, okay. Like, Jesus. Here we go. I gotta, like, you had a whole group. You had the Heaters and everything going on with One-Eye Willie. I forgot his name. Y'all had all that going on, but you had the Heaters and everything. Y'all could have did something with them, but you decided to bring Frieza back. How many times I gotta watch him come back and get his ass kicked? He got his resurrection of F, came back with a gold form, got his ass kicked. Go fighting with them, and he tag teaming Jiren with Goku and them and stuff. And then he coming back like, man, get your goofy. Then he was in the movie with the Broly shit. Like, get your goofy ass out of here. I don't care what you powered up. Get out of here, man. Go, you little flea. Go somewhere. Jesus. And also the other thing I was going to talk about is people are talking about, see, I told you that Broly was stronger than Jiren. I don't know what. Maybe I missed something, and you guys can explain it for me. When did they say in that movie that Broly was stronger than Jiren? Now, they said that Broly could tear stuff up and he can do whatever with the universe stuff and or the planet and almost tear stuff up. But Jiren was tearing shit up. I still think Jiren is one of the best characters that came out in Super. And I'm like, Jiren was stronger than Goku. And then even in the manga, it was a thing where it's like Jiren was just better than them. He was just better. But just because of what he believed, his stance, his convictions, everything, he was better than them. How he controlled himself fighting, his fighting style, what the length he was willing to go, he was better. He was better. And even in the comics, he was like, the manga, he didn't want to go do that Tournament of Power mess. He was like, look, I got to go protect these people. I don't want to do that. That was Topo, like, man, we got to go. But it is what it is. Jiren, and maybe I'm just saying this, but Jiren, to me, is still stronger than all of them. So I just like Jiren. So I like Jiren. I like Jiren more than Broly. So it is what it is. I did like seeing that they're giving Broly. I like this Broly better than the other one too. And I didn't get to talk about this like when the other movie came out, but I like this Broly better than that hollering one and Goku made me mad because he wouldn't shut him out. I like Kakarot, I'm gonna get you because you cry when you eat babies. Like, yeah, I like this Broly a little bit better. But Jiren is still my dude. So that's what I thought about the superhero movie. It wasn't like, oh, it wasn't that or anything, but it was cool. I mean, it was cool. It just I don't this is like, I understand what people say about like you shouldn't expect too much. I understand that, but that's not gonna stop me from talking about what I see. And what I saw with Dragon Ball was like they rushed Gohan's form. They could have let that build. They didn't have a solid main villain, and it was a bunch of goofy shit going on. Like and also that Piccolo ain't no better than Goku. He's there more. But when it comes to like putting Gohan through bullshit just because he wants to see him do better or get back to training and fighting, Piccolo gonna do the same thing Goku do. So it is what it is. And there was issues. It didn't pan out right. It didn't pan out right and stuff. And he put that the Gavin 1 and 2, they could have did more with them. But that was whatever. But my main thing is the Cell Max thing, the goofy ass shit they were doing with the Dragon Balls, and Gohan not really getting to marinate with his new form. It was there and gone. It's like, okay. So, but it is what it is. That's what I thought. That's what I seen, and that's what you get from me. So I appreciate the folks that kicked it with me, the folks that stayed with me and watched and everything. But as usual, go to akachicomics.com. Get Souls of Chaos Chapter 1 and 2 for free. We'll be having Void Beast Chapter 4 up for pre-orders September 1st. And get the Extraordinary Messiah 1 and 2 so you can see what I was talking about as far as heroes willing to go just as far as the villains. Now, will all of them do it? Who knows? And will they do it off top like them? No. So we'll see. But thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me and everything. And I'll holler at y'all later. Go to akachicomics.com. Peace.